Welcome all to the weekly outlook. Boone here from EWPRO. It's the start of the month, so I'll go over the dailies. Starting with the DXY, we got that WXY. We're looking for an X2 and then a Z up. We were looking at a possible bull hidden here. That's been taken out now. So we're sort of looking at some sort of an A, B, and a C down before we get more upside. So look, waiting for a corrective structure in here. On the H4, we got this WXY. We're looking for an X2 and then a Z down. Looking for something up here to finish off this move. We're looking for a correction of similar size to this over here before we get that Z down. On the H1, it was starting to go with non-farm payroll, and then it's reversed. So we got a nice spike up with non-farm payroll, but it's come straight back down. So I'm really only looking for buy setups. Whatever happens in here, wait for your impulse and a buy setup to buy this C up. AU on the daily. So we're looking at that WXY. Looking at an X2, and then we'll be looking for that Z down. We do have a bear hidden here, so I am looking for this to go and break the low in a wave Z. On the H4, we got these 5 up, WXY, X2, and we got that Z up. We lost all the bearish divergence, so I was just looking for a correction. Starting to get that correction like as an A, B, C, and we'll be looking for an A, B, C as a larger correction, and then more upside, and this as the flat larger correction. But again, on the H1, it's still looking rather bullish. We did get a spike down during non-farm payroll, and it's come straight back up. So if you do get a bullish setup in here, you can look for the scalp just to go and break the top, but it's really only scalping. I'm more interested in the sell at this stage. EU on the daily. So this, we got a WX extended wave Y. We're looking for an X2 and a Z down. We do have a bear hidden here. So as long as that bear hidden holds, we'll be looking for downside on the daily. Excuse me. On the H4, I'm looking at a WXY. I'm looking for a correction of similar size to that over here. So I was looking for an A, B, C, and then we get an A, B, C. It's still, again, non-farm payroll. It looked like it was going to reverse, but instead it's just kept on going. We got that impulse down during non-farm payroll, but it's gone straight back up. So more than likely, if you get a bullish flag in here, you can scalp the buy, and then you'd start looking for your sell. GU on the daily. So we got that WXY. Looking for an X2 and a Z down. We did have bearish hidden here. We've lost that bearish hidden now. So really all we can expect is a correction, and not so much a Z down correction and then more upside as A, B, C. So really we're waiting for a larger correction on the daily. On the H4, looks like my fib's gone. So we're looking at that A, B, C. We're up to that 100 pip now. So I would like to see it start to give reversal signals, but it hasn't as yet. We're looking for that. Last week we were looking for this is corrective and more upside. We got more upside, and again it's still looking bullish after the non-farm payroll. We got that spike down and it's come straight back up. So any bullish setup, you could look for the buy. NU on the daily. NU, we got that A, B, C. Now we have a possible bear hidden, but that looks like it's going to go straight back up and take out that bear hidden. That bear hidden that gets taken out, we'll be looking for a correction and then more upside. Oh, excuse me. So H4, we got some sort of a W, weird looking X, and looking at all this as wave Y. Then I'll be looking for an X2 and a Z up. On the H1, we started to get bearish divergence. Like I said last week, we had that W, X, Y, X2 and a Z up. We had the bearish divergence, but this was still looking corrective for more upside. So we were looking for more upside. And now, I mean, you're really only scalping the buys. Looks like we got some sort of a flat here. If you get a little bullish setup in here, you could look for more buys, just scalping. UY on the daily. So we're looking at that WX. All this is extended wave Y. Then we're looking for that X2 and a Z up. We still do have a bull hidden here, a possible bull hidden. So we're really looking for a Z up. But again, this may come down, break that low, taking out that possible bull hidden. On the H4, we've got the Z down. Looking at that WX, Y, X2, and we've got that Z down. We do have bullish divergence. So any bullish setup you get, start looking for the buy. But again, non-farm payroll, we're sort of looking at this as a WXY. We're looking for some sort of an X2 in here and possibly a Z down for an extended Z. So we can't sort of rule out another correction in here and another one down before we get a nice buy setup. The Swissy on the daily. So we're looking for a correction similar size to that over here. We've nearly got the time factor here now. It's not quite there, but it's getting very close. So we're looking at that WXY, X2, and the Z up. On the H4, I was looking for a nice correction back up to the 50 fib. It gave us a nice impulse down. I was looking for a correction and then more downside. It is giving a correction. I'm looking at it as an A, B, C, and then we get an A, B, C as a running or expanding flat, and then we get the A, B, C before we look for upside. On the H1, it started to give that a nice impulse up on non-farm payroll, and it's starting to come straight back down. So it's going to be very difficult to trade all these majors. they're all very similar with that spike from non-farm payroll. Why this, you know, I mean, if you go down to M15, for example, you know, you can really only sell under that low. You know, we got that nice spike up. This may be deep, and it just may be an A, B, C as a regular or running or expanding flat. And then more than likely more downside. So you could look for this, scout this C up, and then look for your sell setup. Oh. UCAD, looking at that WXY X2, and we'll be looking for that Z up. We do have, again, we have a possible bull hidden on the H4. Looking at this WXY, looking at an X2, we're looking for a similar size correction over here. So I was hoping we'd get a C up in here for like an A, B, C. It's looking very bearish though. That's the problem. You know, this is looking rather bearish. There's really not much to buy for this. So it's going to be difficult. If you do get some sort of a buy setup, you can look for the buy. But yeah, again, it's going to be risky because it's looking very bearish. GY on the daily. This here we can only buy. We had the 5 up with the wave Z. Then we had some sort of an A, B, C in here as an expanding. Well, it was just a regular flat. And then it went up and broke the top. So we can really only, we're just waiting for a correction in here and then more upside. On the H4, I was looking at an A, B, C, and then we get an A, B, C. This was very choppy in here, like I mentioned, and we did get a little bit of downside. Any buy setup I get, I'll be still looking for this C up. It's quite risky. It's something for more the experienced traders because we haven't broken this low over here. So at the very minimum, we're looking for an A, a B, and a C up. We are getting bullish divergence. So any bullish setup you get, if you get some sort of a correction in here, you can look for a buy. Yeah. EG on the daily, just looking for that, like A, B, C, and then we get that A, B, C. On the H4, we did get this like WXY, X2Z down. However you want to look at it, as a flat in here, doesn't matter. And then we're looking at an A. This one's a B. We've broken the low, so we're just expecting A, B, C as a running or expanding flat before we get more downside. But at this stage, you know, we're only looking for buys for that C up. Again, it's not really giving us much of a setup to buy. You may get, you know, on the lower time frames, you may get something in here. You'd have to watch it on the lower time frames, look for your buy setups. I'm really only starting to look for buys at these lows. Gold on the daily. So this one here is the weekly X2 time factor, and we're at that time factor now, and as you can see, we're starting to go, so we can go up and break the top. On the H4, we had a very deep correction here. Like I mentioned, we got a WXY. We're sort of looking for an A, B, C in here for the X2, and then looking for a Z up. This is still looking bullish, so we're looking at some sort of an WXY. So we'll be looking for an X2 and a Z up. We just quickly go down to M15. You can look at this on a lot of the pairs that haven't broken the top here. We have a bear hidden, so there's nothing to say that we won't get another one down in here on this on gold here. So we get some sort of a WXY, X2 and a Z down. Really, with gold, you can only buy it above that top. It is starting to give a little bullish flag in here, you know, on the lower time frames. So it is going to be difficult with that bear hidden at this stage. Quick look at silver. So we're looking at this WXY in wave W, 3 in wave W. So we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we've got 1 down in wave Y. This is still looking rather choppy, you know. So we're looking for a WXY, X2 and a Z down. This has really taken off here. So looking at it as a WXY, X2 and a Z up. We did have the bearish divergence. I was sort of looking for a larger correction in here. Instead, it's just given us one wave down. It's very difficult to trade. It's taken off. Sort of only looking for an A, B, C in here, and then we get an A, B, C as a larger correction. But it's just taken off. So now I think we are starting to lose that bearish divergence here. No, we still got the bearish divergence. But yeah, the H1, you know, you pretty much have to wait for a correction. So we'll be looking at some sort of a WXY, wait for your X2, and then you could look for a Z up. WTI. On the daily, we're looking at that WXY, looking at an A, B, C in the X2, and then I'll be looking for that Z down. This one is looking rather nice. And this is one that I'll be, well, adding to my positions next week. On the H4, we got that A, B, C in the B wave, and then we've got that A, B, C. We're starting to get a nice setup in here. So we had the WXY, X2 and the Z down. We broke above here and we're starting to get a correction. Any buy setup you get, look for the buy. This is what I'll be looking for next week to add to a position. Bitcoin on the daily. So this one here, it's starting to run out of steam down the bottom here. As you can see, we're looking at an A, B, and we're getting a C down. We're starting to get a lot of bullish divergence. Sort of the way I'm looking at it is an A, B, C in the B wave, and then we get an A, B, C for probably more downside. There's no sign of reversal yet. That's the problem. Last week we're in here, I was looking at an A, a B, so I said you look for a buy in here, and get it to break even. It may just be an A, B, C as a running or expanding flat, or it may just take off. So if you are in this one in here, got in here somewhere from last week, just hold it and take half off, and yeah, it may take off on you. You never know, because we are at a low on the H1. There, see, we already have bearish divergence, which isn't good. So we're looking at an A, B, C. It's not really giving a buy setup either. This may turn into some sort of an A, B, C in here. And then if you get some sort of a buy setup, you could look for another one up. Just scalping, though, it's quite risky because we already do have the bearish divergence. Looking at S&P on the daily. So we got that W, X, Y, X2, and a Z down. This is quite choppy coming up here. So still not convinced that this is the X2. I was looking for a correction a similar size to that over here. This one's a little bit smaller, but we got a W, X, Y, X2, and we're getting a Z up. This is still looking rather bullish. In here. So yeah, if you get a buy set up in here, a buy set up on the lower time frames, you'll have to go down to the lower time frames. If you get a buy set up in here, look for the buy. This one should be nice along with WTI. These are the two that I'll be looking at next week. AU200 on the daily. We got that W, X, Y, X2, and we got that Z down with the bullish divergence. We got the high. So really we're waiting for a correction, back to the 50 fib, and then we'll be looking for more upside on the daily. On the H4, we are getting bearish divergence, but it's continuing to go up. We've got this A, B, and it's just slowly going up. We're getting a lot of bearish divergence, so it's very difficult to buy. But again, it's giving since that non-farm payroll, we're getting another buy setup. So we've got some sort of an A, B, C in here, come up here. So if you get a little bullish setup in here, you can look for the buy, just scalping. Yeah. Looking at the DAX on the daily. So we're looking at this WXY, A, B, C. This is still keep on going. So it may become expanding if it breaks that top there. On the H4, we never had bearish divergence last week. We have broken above this top here now, and we are starting to get that bearish divergence. So it does become very risky to keep buying. You can see that it's running out of steam. It's going very sideways, slow. Yeah, I'd be waiting for a sell setup, you know. And the FTSE on the daily. So this is given an A, B, C. It's bounced clean off that 100 fib. So I'll be looking for an A, B, C down before we get more upside. Any sell setup that you get, you can see we bounced clean off that 100 fib. We do have bearish divergence coming down in here. We got a cross in here, so we do have bearish divergence on H4. We have a bull hidden on the H1 though, so yeah, this may give. It looks like you're getting a little flag in here, so you can look for that buy just to break the top, and then I dare say we'll get bearish divergence, and then any sell setup you get, look for the sell. So I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.